All right, this is another video of what not to buy. It's cheap, but cheaper for a reason. So these tubes are meant for only race only, not for jumping or doing anything extreme. Riding on two wheels, back wheels, jumping excluded. This is
What size is this?
This is a 7-inch extension arm, so 7 plus. This one is an 8 plus, so 8 inches above stock. 8 inches extension above stock. So what this one is, if I put a little bit of pressure over here on the rear bumper and I wiggle the axle, you can see the axle movement, but the quad is still. If you really look at the video, the quad is still, but the axle is moving.
Wow.
Because there's no tensile strength sideways or torque twist test. This will fail a twist test. But a solution is, on the other quad, we upgraded a different setup. Let's go take a look at it.
Right here is the one.
Here's the other thing is, keep in mind, one bolt. Cheaper for a reason. Made in China. Right here too, one bolt. So 2 bolts for each rear axle to hold the rear bearing.
Actually, the stock one is 2 bolts, right?
2 on each side. So it's actually 4.
4.
The stock one has 2 Allens on one side and 2 Allens on the other side.
This is China?
This is
Santor
China
or something?
No, that's just a sticker on there.
Okay.
That's just an advertisement sticker. But long story short, this is a cheap, just to race, not to jump, not to do anything extreme. What this guy is riding, this guy is 55 years old, but he rides like 25-year-old guy. So this setup might not last very long. It has cracked one time already, right over here. He actually already welded it up, reinforced with a flat stock steel, and re-welded on the back side and the inner side. On both sides, he already added a flat stock to give more strength when he does jumping.
And let's remember, they struggling to put the shock over there.
With the shock, they had to change the angle of the pressure. So the guys who make these forks are not the sharpest tool in the shed. They had the wrong angle, so they had to re-weld the eyelet where the shock is mounting, because the quad would be sagging way too low. So was not a very good purchase. Too much manual hours. The guy's a welder, so he was able to fix it. But if I was to do it again or recommend to anybody, I would say do not do it. That's just a bunch of baloney. It's not going to work. Same thing with that one. That one broke 3 times. 3 times. I'm telling you. 3 times I snapped. One time, one side completely snapped off, clean off. Re-welded. Put a flat stock on top, flat stock on the bottom, flat stock cross member, and a flat stock on the other side. So right now it's good for beginners, for guests coming out to ride with us, but in the long term, this is not a good investment. Let's go take a look at what is a good investment.
Okay, let's see.
$350 more, so double the price. Those are about $300. This is about $750, close to $800 with shipping. So 8 bills with shipping. You get reinforced. You have a square tubing. 4 bolts. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a better clamp power. You have reinforcement over here where it connects to your clamp bearing, your rear bearing, and you have reinforced over here and reinforced all the way up to your engine.
Nice. Wow.
And right here, the eyelets, all the engineering that's been done on this fork, the rear extension, has been magnificent. Just magnificent. Complete lineup. This is plug and play. We just have to add some washers on the inside, because this fork can go on a YFZ450 and a YFZ450R. So the fuel injection and the non-fuel injection, the carbureted, so that's the only difference. So they make that a little bit shorter, but the bearing goes in. You put some washers in there, no problem, no drama. The outside dimensions, the outside measurement is the same from the 450R and from the just simple standard carbureted 450. So the outside measurements are the same. The inner are slightly different, but that does not make a difference. Put some washers in, you're good to go.
So you didn't need to any like modification?
No modifications. This one just bolt on ready. The only thing that you have to do
Great.
is get the brake line, remove the e-brake. There was an e-brake or a parking brake. Get yourself a cap.
Yeah.
It's a delete.
You-
Delete the e-brake.
You got like upgrade lightweight.
Little bit. So this gives you a little bit extra weight, I guess you would say, but just gives you extra nonsense that you don't need. You just need a good brake when you come from a wheelie control arm or coming down a hill. You need the parking brake.
How about waving?
This one, currently, the bearings wore out on this one. This is a whole different video for that one. But there is no wiggle room. So if we were to test the twist test, the tensile strength of the twist test, there is zero wiggle room.
Yeah,
Zero
because
wiggle
channels, yes.
So these square tubing do not allow any tensile twisting back and forth. So
Wow, nice.
very robust. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good investment. I highly recommend.
Perfect.
100%.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
And it's powder coated. You can get it powder coated to whatever the color you want. There's about 4 colors or 6 colors you can pick to match your bike. So
Wow.
they actually do a really good job. The guys that I bought from East Coast, guys made in America.
Oh,
So,
made in USA.
Made in USA.
Wow,
That is
So,
true. Not China.
wow, that's nice. So how can we find them?
That's online. I can pull that up information. We'll leave it in the description below. But made in USA, built from American steel. It's robust. The bearings will go out before the fork will bend or snap. So tells you if you put these in. The other thing is actually to keep in mind when you put this in, install new bearings, new seals, new setup. I went reused my old setup. It was worn out. I should have knew better and have put new bearings, new seal when I put on the new assembly. So note to self, when you put up the new axle, don't cheap out, put new bearings, new seals, and you won't have any issues with bearings going out. Other than that, this is phenomenal setup. Keep an eye on your chain, and you don't need another belt damper or the chain damper goes in here.
Wow.
You don't need
So
that.
that one doesn't have one, right?
That one doesn't have. This one has it, but you don't need it. It will just collect extra dust and mud. This one just came off because the bearing went out, and so the chain came off at a high speed.
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, this is the system 2 buy. Definitely worth it. We'll spend less time re-welding, re-engineering the wheel on this setup.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Give us a jingle.
Yeah, great. Subscribe.